Kahnawake Rono, and welcome to another episode of Straight Talk. I'm one of your hosts, Michael Stalk Sr.
And I'm Christine Taylor.
Ross Montour.
Welcome, welcome, and welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Back.
Another week, we're back, and Chrissy's back. Mm-hmm. Welcome back. It's nice to have you.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
You're giving some glow to the show. Not that we didn't have it, but
Okay.
I'm just so darned agreeable.
well, you know, we still have another seat. Mm-hmm. Bobby D was supposed to be here, but she had other things to do. So she may be back in the future, and we're still, I guess, looking at how we're ironing out the show, who's going to be on it, and how that's going to work out, and stuff like that. I know that there was some discussion about a woman's show. It was, I guess, the circle or something that you were looking at.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's still in the works, I guess?
Yeah, more like, the view discussion, talking about less politics, more living or lifestyle type of subjects.
Well, Kahnawake is never without controversy. That's the reason why we have this show.
And that's why it works.
It always gives us a lot of content to.
It's part of our lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah. The last show we
Our
talked.
heritage.
Yeah, the last show we talked. At length, maybe not as long as we wanted to, but we talked about the casino issue, and at that point there was a community meeting that was already planned, and I understand, Ross, you had gone.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, I didn't go. I didn't go to the.
But you have, I guess, you weren't there, but you have information about.
About the meeting?
Well, it seemed to be fairly well attended. Mm-hmm. The information I have is whatever is available to everybody in terms of social networking. There's that term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a lot of the stuff that people are.
But basically,
a lot of it is perspective of them being there, and obviously they're,
Their own personal perspective,
what transpired and stuff like that.
Yeah, it seemed to be one report that I was reading again, social networking. One community member, I don't know if she'll mind my mentioning her name, Lynn Norton, was commenting that, because people were asking for an update in terms of what the turnout was like and what the response was in terms of the proposal as it was being explained. Mm-hmm. And from her perspective, according to the reading that I had, it was maybe 50-50, maybe a little bit either way, 60-40, what have you. And then a kind of controversy over Gus Sky's appearance on the talk show, implying that everybody who was there was in favor of it, so that basically is going to be, I think, it's going to be an ongoing thing. Mm-hmm. It's going to be an ongoing thing in terms of the perception, and in terms of how that perception is then relayed to the community.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that because Mohawk Council is heading this up, and they want to, I guess, they want this to happen. So of course they're going to give information that's going to be heavier on their side. Mm-hmm. If you want that, long enough they keep asking the same question. I know that there was one thing that I just wanted to look at here, and Regan had prepared these, and it was talking about the main issues that they were discussing. There was cutbacks in several areas like education, capital, culture, center, and stuff like that. But and then there's technically saying that if the community says no, they're not going to move forward. Didn't they already say that?
Well, you know what, Mike? I've been really mulling this over for the last little while, and I jotted down some notes. And one of the things that occurs to me is that there are a number of factors going on here locally and externally. One of those, which is, are there government cutbacks and so on? Okay, so the big question is, yes, we know that the government has not increased funding levels to Native communities across the country. Mm-hmm. So even the Mohawk Council is still operating on agreements that have just been extended but never increased, mm-hmm. going back at least 10 years. So that is a reality. That apparently is true. So there are diminishing dollars, but then there are other things going on as well in terms of continual rollbacks on funding. So those get to be realities in terms of education and services and so on. But to me, one of the things that I'm concerned about in this whole process of, is this really a debate about a casino? Or is it a debate about a need for dollars for services? And will this now be then presented to the community as an either or?
Well,
because I think it's there. You know?
But if you followed, if you've been following the trend over the last year, and we've discussed a lot of that almost every show as to what direction they're looking at going to. We had this conversation last year saying that just look at the pattern of Mohawk Council, what they're doing, what they're saying, how they're saying it, and then getting the community accustomed to the end of the day, what it's going to say and what it's going to mean by the casino. We talked about that last year. Some of the meetings and the talks that they were having in regards to gaming issues and stuff like that with the province, the lotteries and everything else like that. And then this big campaign that they're having now in the last like several months, where's the money going and we're broke. And then then they come out with something else to explain why we're not paying tax, or what people are paying on the outside as far as taxes concerned with businesses, and then what kind of permits do they need to do that. I don't know, you know, for me, it's like, I know that it's happening, but why are you telling me that? Because you think that that's going to happen here, or you think that you're trying to make me scared to that's going to happen? I mean, come on, it's we see the pattern how that's going.
Do you remember? You must remember, Mike. There was a time when, if you're running for council, the T word was unmentionable. Another word that was unmentionable was zoning. You never mentioned zoning if you expected to get on council, but they kept talking about the need to sort of regulate where things were, and we are now openly talking about zoning.
Well, zoning's always been around here. I sat on that.
But this is what my point is. My point is that the community is getting used to hearing a certain concept or a certain idea, and one of the things to me that where this is going to go is about taxation. It's about taxation.
I don't know if it's. I mean, I think that when you're really looking at it, it may be an issue on tax, but I don't think that's the big picture. I think that the council would be hard pressed to introduce something like that in this community. I mean, I'm not saying that it won't. You know, we're feeling it a little bit here and there as a user's fee or something like that.
We talked about in the recent tobacco discussions.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about some of that later on. But that's where it's an iffy situation, and how do we deal with that? I know we have to go to a break, but my last thought, I guess, on this is that, we discussed this before about this casino, and I said that I'm not against it. I'm not 100% against it. I'm not 100% forward. I'm not even on the fence. The reason why I say that is because, given some circumstances, I think that the revenue will benefit to the community. Given some of the other circumstances, I think that it won't. But the problem that is here, before we go to the break, is that we have a casino. We've had a casino for the last 10, 15 years with MIT. And we talked about that before. We have ex-councilors who have businesses, personal businesses that are in there and getting rich off the backs of the community. We have a lot of non-natives making millions and billions of dollars off this community on there. Why doesn't this community open their own site? I'm sure, you know what, they may even already do that, but I don't know. But if they don't, that's your casino. They're making millions and billions of dollars and will generate that revenue by having their own.
Who made the deals and who's
but
going to
having
make the deals
site,
now?
But having the own site, and then that money generated from that's what you're going to use. You don't have to spend all that money on a casino to put up a building and use more land and all this. You have one there online, and it's making billions of dollars a year. Use that. We're gonna go to a break, and we're gonna be back right after these messages.